Hey everybody, and welcome to Bits of Board, where we're talking board games, miniatures, cards, and dice. My name's Michael, and today we begin our playthrough of Sword and Sorcery Ancient Chronicles. Now, this for me is one of the top tier adventure fantasy style games out there. It's definitely got some dungeon crawling elements, but it's more about the narrative building around your characters and the story of the world as a whole. It is freaking cool. So that's why I kind of want to show it off. As for how long this playthrough is going to go and how well we're actually going to do at it, I'm not quite sure, but do feel free to let me know in the comments if you want to see more or if you think I should be doing different things, whatever. It's kind of up to you guys there. Now, because I've been supporting Sword and Sorcery for a fairly long time, I'm going to be using some of the bonus content I got from the first Kickstarter to kind of flesh this one out. That includes plastic doorways, plastic treasure chests, the nice coins and all that sort of stuff. So if you see things that aren't in your Kickstarter pledge for Ancient Chronicles or are not in the real retail version, yep, that is just the case. I'm sorry. I kind of love this game though, so I'm going to be decking it out as much as I can. Now, the story elements will seep through as we play through, but the general gist is that the players take on the role of resurrected heroes out there to do the bidding of their gods, and that is pretty much where we'll be picking up. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. And here we are ready to go for Act 1, Quest 1, Anvil of the Gods. We've got our map off to the left and we've got our 4 heroes off to the right, along with all the other bits and pieces we're going to need for this playthrough. Let me introduce you to our characters. All of our characters are Chaos aligned. We've got Artemis, our hunter. She's got the predatory instinct ability. All of her attacks against wounded enemies inflict +1 hit if we roll the Sword and Sorcery icon, or critical if we roll the Gremlin icon. She's also rocking the precise strike ability, which, if she spends an action, will allow her next attack to inflict a critical. Always good to see. Next up, we've got Thorgren, our Stone Rager, and he's got the Enrage ability. If you suffer wounds, gain or increase your rage token by 1 up to a maximum of 4, and then in each time phase, if there's no enemies within one area, decrease that rage token by 1 all the way down to 0. Rage tokens are essentially little tokens that grant +1 hit per attack, -1 defense, and they go all the way up to level 4, which is this one here, for +3 hits, -3 defense. Could be good, could be hectic, but I'll tell you what, it pairs very nicely with Unleash Rage over here. For an action, we are able to discard his rage tokens, causing at level 1 target enemy to suffer damage equal to the level of the discarded token. He is going to be a damage dealing machine. Next up, we've got Jian, our Inquisitor. She has Guard Break. Once per round, she may spend an action to cause target enemy to suffer either -1 armor or -1 parry until the time phase. And because we kind of needed a bit of a healer for this one, we're giving her the Healing Wave, allowing her to remove 1 body condition for an action and heal at Soul Rank 1 2 hit points to target hero. Xantares is next. He's our wild mage who has the Flux ability. After you've used any of your abilities like this one over here, we roll for us 1 red die. For each gremlin rolled, he suffers 1 damage, and for each Sword and Sorcery icon, we shift the used ability 1 space along its cooldown track. That ability is Thunder Strike, which is going to allow us to roll 1 red and 1 blue dice up to range 2, with the possibility of scoring KOs and AoE against our targets. Very nice indeed. Now, all of our heroes start in the start zone, and we are pretty much ready to go. Looks like I'm missing a token or 2. I decided a little late on that we're sprucing this up to a 4-hero playthrough. And with that, I think we are all set. So let's do this. We begin in the God's Temple. All of our heroes begin in ghost soul form, and we're off. A bolt of mystical light awakens the ancient heroes from the sweet oblivion of their eternal sleep. All that once was has come to be once again. As they open their eyes, the heroes contemplate an ethereal world, blurred and wrapped in a translucent white mist. A few moments later, the eternal silence of the infinite is broken by a choir. 3 voices sing together in their minds. The divine voices speak in chorus, 2 male and 1 female voice forming a perfect harmony. They state their will in commanding tones. Your souls have been called back by our will, forged as divine weapons to be the harbingers of our revenge. Your destiny is to annihilate the blasphemous creatures that dared to usurp our creations. Your immortal souls prohibit your total destruction, so you will never be free until you have completed your task. The powers you once wielded will slowly return as you tread the path we lay before you to become masters of your own destiny. Now approach the sacred altar and let your souls regenerate your death-clad shells, return to life, and taste immortality. So during this turn, each ghost soul hero must move towards the open shrines area and await there until the next time phase. So let's move. Our heroes move to the altar, and there we wait. We move into the event phase, flipping the top card of the event deck over, and we have Soul Recall. Heroes gain 1 soul per hero. And wouldn't you know it, that is going to be enough for one of our heroes to soul level up. But not yet. And we move on into the next round's time phase. The world returns to sharpness, an almost painful process for senses dulled by eons of sleep. As the party is overwhelmed by sensations long forgotten, the ancestral choir sings one last time. The soil you tread is the Underrain, a subterranean land usurped by a creature that dares to call herself queen. End her unholy tyranny and receive your reward. Now go forth, holy avengers. All right, so now we're actually sort of ready to play. Now that we've hit corporeal form, we're going to go ahead and resolve this waypoint here. Now, we probably could have done it when our heroes first moved into the location, but I thought it would break the narrative a little bit, so let's go ahead and do it now. Decayed weapons lie scattered on the ground. Time has been unkind to their blades, but they still hold power enough to kill or maim. So here, once per quest, each hero moving over this waypoint can spend 1 action to choose and equip up to 2 items from the stash deck. Oh yeah, our starter cards. So that means we've kind of got to get into it. I'm thinking we'll begin with Thorgren, and he's first going to spend his action activity searching that pile of weapons. So I'm thinking we just grab the single item, the spear. This is a 2-handed weapon and just about all he's going to need to begin our adventure. We'll go ahead and equip that in his main hand, if we can see there. You know what, because I'm tight for space here, we're going to go ahead and just throw it over here in the artifact spot. I know this is not where it goes, but let's try and keep everything up close and on camera for you guys. So that's how we're going to roll for the moment. His action activity done, I think we're going to head for the door and see what's going on outside. So we'll begin our movement activity, moving 1 point into this room here, but because we have a waypoint, we're going to go ahead and resolve that one first. A finely carved door isolates the ancient temple from the outside world. Beyond, the heroes face the wilderness, untold perils, and the unnumbered challenges born of their destiny. Nice little bit of flavor text there. So we are ready to continue. We've spent 1 point of movement, and I think we're going to try and get through this door. So we're going to spend our free action removing it from the map, it being unlocked after all. Now, this is actually going to cause us to resolve a trap card, so I'm going to go ahead and draw one of those, and we get teleport. Unless we save, each hero within one area is moved to the spawn gate determined using the blue dice. Now, this is actually not a bad card to be picking up here because currently the only spawn gate on the map is closed, so we ain't going nowhere. Let's continue the move. One more point, and we now have to resolve story event number 1. But before that, we resolve the shadow tokens. So let's flip both of these bad boys face up. We have a gremlin face and a gremlin face with an enemy power. Oh no. So we are going to be resolving both of our enemies. We have a spider and a second spider. We kind of knew this going in. There are only 2 enemy cards set up for this map. So I'm going to go ahead and put them off to the side here. Place our minis down, and we're going to draw an enemy power for one of our spiders. Attack spines. If an attack deals damage to this enemy, the attacker suffers 1 hit point. How annoying is that? Let's give that to the spider with the cool web so we can pick him out if we need be. And with that done, we get to resolve our first story event. The door opens on a forgotten corridor where dust and cobwebs lie thick and undisturbed. Once a glorious shrine, it is now a lost sepulchre owned by giant spiders. As they spot the heroes, the gigantic arachnids click their mandibles and shake their limbs, ready to assault the fresh victims that just invaded their hunting ground. We open the spawn gate. And ladies and gentlemen, it is on. So we've spent 2 of our 3 movement with Thorgren. Let's move just 1 more space and we had better get attacking. And how do we do that, I hear you ask? Well, our spear actually has a range of 1, so it means we can target the spiders at the end of the hallway. Now, of course, we're going to be targeting the spider that doesn't have the arcane spears, or maybe we should. Oh, if anything, we get some enrage out of it. Yeah, let's do it. We're going to be rolling 2 red and 2 blue dice. Let's see how we go. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3 hits there. +1 for using it at range 1. That's 4 hits. Let's have a look at our spider cards. So the arcane spines goes off, and Thorgren will actually suffer 1 hit point of damage. No worries there. But we look at the rest of his card, and we can see that there are no shields, no defenses getting in the way of this damage. And at only 4 hit points of life, this guy is now defeated. Yes! It drops 5 coin and deals a point of damage in the process. Our enrage goes off, and we are now at enrage level 1. Awesome. Right, so we've used our action, we've moved, and we've used our combat activity. The hero turn is now over, and we move to the enemy turn. Question we need to ask ourselves here, is there an enemy on the board? Yes, there is, so we have to resolve an encounter card. I draw the top one off the deck there, and we get Encounter G. Activate all blue enemies, none on the map. So we go to our otherwise condition. All engaged enemies perform an attack with their main attack. Well, we've got no engaged enemies, so guys and gals, Spidey over here is not actually going to get an attack in. Let's go ahead and activate Gian next. She's going to spend her action searching all the gear, and here we are going to take in hand the mace and buckler. She is a faith character after all, as we can see in the top right of her card there. So these are completely appropriate. As we can see, the mace has the faith and the buckler has the any class symbol. So that is going to be sweet. Now, she has 5 points of movement for her movement activity, so we're going to get her in range for some spider stomping. So let's move 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Turn her to face the damn thing, and let's get attacking. An attack with the mace will allow us to roll 1 red and 3 blue dice. And we do not go that well. We've definitely got 2 hits there, but unfortunately we can't make use of any of our powers. So that's going to be about it there. We exit the hero turn, move into the enemy turn, and we draw our next encounter card. What have we got? Activate all purple enemies? Nope. Otherwise, activate all highest rank enemies. That we can do because we have a green one right there. So the spiders are going to get their first attack in this game. We'll run down its AI decisions and see which one is most appropriate. In this case, the spider does have a target in its own space, so we're going to be resolving that first set of actions. First, we need to check if the victim is slowed, and they're not. And so we skip its use and trap ability because that will only go off if the target's slowed. So we move to the next one, and that is an attack with bite. 2 red dice with the possibility of poisoning. Ew. Let's see how it goes. Oof. A pretty decent hit, and it is actually going to get its poison off. So that is thoroughly annoying. I'm going to put that there just so I remember. And then we'll continue on with the attack. So we have 2 hits to be defending against here. Now, unlike the Immortal Souls content, our heroes actually get a little bit of armor without having to actually equip anything. That's actually why there were no armor pieces in the starting stash. So as you can see over here, Xian has 1 point of armor that will reduce the number of hits that she gets, and then she'll be able to roll up to 2 blue dice, 1 per each hit. Now, this is the element of sword and sorcery, which pretty much convinces me I need to do a how to play on this one because there are some random little rules that initially don't quite make a lot of sense. But basically, we went from 2 hits down to 1 thanks to the armor. And because there's only 1 hit, we're only going to be rolling 1 of our blue dice to defend. So I'm going to do that here. We roll. And unfortunately, no shields rolled. But let's see if our shield can help us out. No, it would require a bolt to get us some damage reduction, so that is 1 damage dealt. Enemy turn over. Let's move into Xantares' turn there. We'll start with his action, rummaging through the stash, and I'm thinking we'd better take the Wand of Darts and a knife just in case we get into some close combat. Now, only 3 points of movement for this one. We're not going to be able to get totally in range. So what we will do, I guess, is take a shot with our Wand of Darts. So we're going to move 1, 2, and 3, and then rolling 2 blue dice, we're going to see if we can't get at least a couple of hits here. Oh, only 1, unfortunately. Remembering our spider has no defense to fight back here. Now, although we didn't get the kill, we do manage to slow this sucker down, which I think is going to help immensely. We move into the enemy turn, draw its encounter card, and we're going to be activating all dexterity-based enemies. The spider activates, but this time because of its slow, it's only going to be able to perform the first sentence of its chosen attack. So we're going to resolve that very top line. If the victim is slowed, use entrap. Our victim is not slowed, so no entrap, and the giant spider's turn is over. We discard its slow token. 1 hero left to activate. Artemis, let's do this. We first use her action to search the stash, and we're going to grab her a longbow, which is going to give us 1 automatic hit when we roll, hoping for another so we can take this sucker out. We move into her movement activity. We've got 4 movement to play with, but we're not going to use it all. We're going to go 1, 2, and yes, that's right, 3 over here. And then we're going to draw our bow and see how many hits we can land on this spider. 2 blue dice, 1 miss result, 1 hit. Oh, you know what? This is pretty good. Our predatory instinct kicks in. Our attack against a wounded enemy scores a critical. That is so good. So what we're going to do here is draw a critical out of the bag, and we get a red one, which is going to give it one less hit for the remainder of this turn. Now, that probably doesn't matter much because we've got a hit here and we've got a hit on our bow. That's 2 damage and enough to kill the giant spider, skewering it in its tracks. This time, instead of gold, it's going to give us 1 soul point. And up we go to 5. Now that's the end of our turn there. We move into the enemy turn, and there are no enemies to warrant an encounter, so we skip on, and because that is the last of our heroes done and dusted, we move into the event phase. Now this is just going to be one of those non-eventful kind of ones, and we're just going to discard the soul recall one. Next event phase, we will have a brand new card to draw. We come back around into a new time phase, and this time we've actually got a couple of effects that we need to resolve. Firstly, Thorgren over here with 1 point of enrage going on. In each time phase, if there are no enemies within one area, we decrease our rage token by 1, discarding if we're on our way to 0. So unfortunately, we've lost the benefits of our enrage, but it's kinda okay. And with that done, all that's left is to resolve our poison down here. Now, Xian has 1 poison, so she's going to take 1 more point of damage. But now we're going to be given the opportunity to roll a save. And in this case, if we roll a star, we're going to be free of this poison token for the rest of the game. I think it's only a 3 in 10 chance. Yeah. So it's probably going to be a little while until we can get rid of that poison. Unless we begin our battle phase, and starting with Xian, we're actually going to do something about that poison. We're going to spend our action to initiate our healing wave. Remove 1 body condition, hey, poison is gone, and then heal 1 plus soul rank divided by 2 hit points. Now we're at soul rank 1 here, so 1 divided by 2 rounding up is 1. We heal up, removing our 2 points of damage, and we are all set. Now, using the healing wave here causes this card to flip over, placing it in the 2 orientation, which means it's going to be a couple of turns before this one can return to use. But for the moment, I think that was pretty worthwhile. So with the action spent, we can still move and attack. Now, I don't think we're actually going to attack anything just yet, unless something spawns here. So let's get moving. We'll begin spending 1 point of movement, and we are going to be resolving the X waypoint. Suddenly, something chittering and horrible leaps from the ceiling. 2 insectoid monstrosities surge forward, spattering the floor with poisonous spittle in their furious need to attack. Before the hero can act, one of the chitinous horrors hurls itself at her, wrapping its spiny legs around her torso like a vice. Uh-oh, we have to spawn some venoms. One of them in the area, the other on our player board. So what does this actually mean? Let's take a look. This chest hugger ability is what we want to look at first. At the end of each enemy turn, each venom moves up to 3 areas towards the closest hero. If before or after this movement, a venom is in the same area with the hero, discontinue movement and place that venom on the hero sheet. In case of multiple heroes, the venom chooses a hero without venoms attached first, then uses the standard victim selection criteria. Once on a hero sheet, a venom can no longer be targeted as an enemy, but another hero can spend their attack activation to defeat all venoms on the hero sheet of another hero in the same area. Alright, that is a mouthful, but basically we are infested, and what happens with that is at the end of the event phase, heroes will suffer poison 1 for each venom on their sheet. All venoms are then discarded. Right, so we're basically almost poisoned, so we're going to have to get one of our other heroes to deal with that in a sec. For the moment though, we've still got our attack activity, so let's deal with that other venom roaming around before it has a chance to infest someone else. Xian is going to grab her mace, and we're going to take a swing at it with a red and 3 blue dice, and it is mostly a terrible roll, lots of parries rolled. But I tell you what, we don't really need more than that hit there. What I will do, just for kicks, is use the reroll ability on our mace to see if we can't do better. And of course the camera cuts out there, but we did just roll another defense. Either way, like I said, it doesn't matter, we get the hit. And why doesn't that matter, I hear you ask? Well, these suckers have no defense and currently only 1 hit point. So this one is dead. That out of the way though, we are actually all done. I would love to go ahead and unlock this locked door, but locked doors require actions, so I'm not going to be able to do that, having spent our action already healing up a little earlier. So we end our hero turn and move into the enemy turn. No enemies on the map, so we move to our next hero. Here we're going to activate Xantares, and we'll begin with a movement. So he's got 3 points of movement. We're going to go 1 and 2, and then we're going to stop. We're going to spend our combat activity to remove the venom from Xian, and then we're going to use our action to unlock this door. But this of course requires us to draw a trap card. And here we have Mortal Cloud. Roll soul rank divided by 2 red dice. That is just 1. Boom. And then each hero within 1 area suffers 1 hit point per hit rolled. No hits rolled here, so no damage dealt. Well done. Again, we end our hero's turn, and without any enemies, we move to the next. Here I'm thinking Thorgren is going to take his action. 3 points of movement to play with. We're going to go 1 for a sneaky free action. We're going to pick up 5 coins from the ground. And then we're going to move 2 and 3, resolving waypoint number 3. As he walks by some rubble, the hero feels a shiver in his soul. Once per round, each hero moving over this waypoint must roll 3 red dice. So let's put this waypoint back so we can remember that. And then we're going to roll some dice. Whoa! That never happens. That's like rolling 3 10s, guys. Is it? Holy dooly. That is rolling 3 10s. What a wasted roll. Anyway, this is kind of good news for us, because if at least one of those symbols was rolled, we get to resolve some secrets. So, this is a continuation of the waypoint 3 text, so I'll read it again. As he walks by some rubble, the hero feels a shiver in his soul and decides to dig through the remains of a broken altar, extracting an item of rare beauty, a splinter of ancient marble carved with the countenance of the goddess Xantares. Judging by the shape, broken and incomplete as it may be, the artifact represents the left side of the sacred symbol of the 3. This relic's divine power is so great, it can be clearly felt even in just this fragment. Oh, hells yes. So anyone can use this one, and once per round for a free action, target hero heals 1 hit point. The target has to be in range 0 there, but that is still 1 free heal per turn. Once per quest, you can perform a pray action as a free action without being over an open shrine. That is amazing because it means we get the blessing of the gods. It's so good. Okay, we throw that in Thorgren's inventory, ready to be used. And you know what? Let's go ahead, use it now and heal up 1 point of damage. Thorgren, you lucky duck you. All right, so I guess we can discard that. So we finish up the hero turn there, and with no enemies on the board, we move to our final hero's activation for this round, Artemis. She's got 4 movement points, 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. We're going to take her all the way down to story event number 2. Let's go ahead and resolve that one. Outside the shrine, the lands of the Underrain appear in their wild beauty, filled with immense stone vaults and labyrinthine tunnels. The temple's path, clearly abandoned for countless years, offers the heroes no clue as to the unknown fate they march together towards. Now we could go ahead and shuffle our enemy deck here, but because we're drawing two, let's just add them back to the board here, just like that. And here they are. Now, usually we'd go ahead and roll some dice to find out which spawn gate that they're going to appear at, but because we've only got one, I think we can skip that. Yeah, guys and gals, we might be in for a bit of trouble here. So we've moved, and Artemis now has the opportunity to attack, and we might actually be in range here. Let's check out line of sight. Gonna go ahead and use the enemy card here. Get out of the way, everybody. Yes, I can draw a line directly from this X to that one without crossing any borders. Oh, wait, that'd be a border there. All right, there will be no skewered spiders this turn. I guess we're just going to have to end our turn. Yes, we have monsters on the board, so we draw an encounter card. And here we're going to be activating all faith enemies. Neither of these are faith enemies, so we go to our otherwise. Each enemy recharges 1 charge and heals 3 hit points per act. No activation here. We might actually get some damage dealt. Before we do though, we move into the event phase, and we have a new event card to draw. We flip face up, and here we're going to be rolling a red dice, possibly placing some treasure. Nice. We roll, we get a hit, and we're going to place 1 treasure token in the active heroes area. Now, our active hero is actually Artemis here. She was the last to activate, so I'm going to randomly draw one of those treasure tokens and place it face down, hopefully, yes, in 20B. Beautiful. So, event phase now done. We move into the time phase. Do we have anything to resolve? Nope. So we move into the battle phase. And I'm thinking Thorgren's probably got the biggest chance of taking out a spider in one go, so we're going to go ahead and start with him. I'm probably not going to move him here, and instead we're going to grab that spear and attack from a distance, noting here that the spear grants +1 hit at range 1. 2 red dice, 2 blue dice, we are going to attack the one that gives us a soul, and we do pretty good, guys. 1, 2, 3 hits there. 4 for the spear. We could throw in some bleed and lost armor if we cared, but we have done enough damage to the spider to take him out. Awesome stuff. 3rd spider dead. We gain 1 more soul, and our turn is over. Actually, you know what we could have done? We could have used an action to focus, giving us +1 hit as well. But honestly, at the end of the day, we did not need it. Okie dokie. Finishing off his activation, we're actually going to move to 20B there. That's right, we were going to pick that up. So we'll spend the action, flip out treasure card, and we have a trap. Boo. What happens here? Hey, it's no trap. The trap was broken. All right, Thorgren's turn is done. Hero turn over. We now resolve an encounter card because we have an enemy on map. And what do we have? We're going to activate all wounded enemies. Otherwise, all enemies and minions use their power. Ooh, we haven't seen this yet. So the giant spider's power is Shadow Strike. If engaged, and yes it is, attack with web and move away 1 area. Damn, that's a shame. We had such a good thing going on here. So this web attack will be against the hero with the least amount of wounds in their current location here. And because everyone's got no wounds at this stage, we've done all the healing that we can, we have to go down to a tiebreaker. We're looking for the most wounded, the one with the fewest hit points remaining, and then the closest in terms of distance. Well, guys and gals, Xantares only has 4 hit points, so he's going to be the target here. We go ahead and roll out 3 blue dice, 2 shields, so 2 of those hits are gone, but 1 here, plus 1 more for the web, no slow. That's not a bad result for us. Now, the unique thing about Xantares here, he has a single magic shield, which we have to use to help reduce damage. So we go from 2 hits down to 1 hit here. The difference between this stuff and armor is that this stuff actually works to protect against lethal attacks, which is very important to remember later on down the track. Now, we've got one hit remaining and one blue dice to roll, so let's do that. And we score a defense. No damage dealt. Well done, Xantares. Right, so with the attack resolved, all that's left is to move the spider away. And for us, that is going to be probably moving that way. We do have to move the spider away from the closest heroes, which is that lot there. And it prefers to move to spots that are open. So technically we have here and here, but this is closest to more heroes. So I think we should err on the side of the spider wants to run that way. Right, enemy attack done. We are now ready to initiate our next hero's attack. And here I think we're gonna go for, stuff it. Let's show Xantares a Thunder Strike in action. He's gonna get a little bit of revenge on this Spidey here. So what we're going to do first is spend an action to use this Thunder Strike. Here we're going to be rolling one red die and one blue die. We're going to get 2 hits out of it, which is pretty damn nice. But we're also going to get a KO here, which is going to knock the Spidey down. That is a very nice start. Next, we're going to attack using the Wand of Darts, and here we're going to roll 2 more blue dice, hoping for 2 more hits. We roll, and we fail a little bit, don't we? We get 1 damage and the slow. Nothing wrong with that. All that's left is to resolve Xantares' character ability here. We're going to be rolling 1 red dice for his flux. Basically, had we rolled a gremlin, he would suffer 1 hit point damage, and for every sword and sorcery symbol we rolled, we would advance the cooldown of his spent skill by 1, essentially refreshing it. In this case, we rolled neither, so we play as normal. Then we're going to move on out of here, preparing for the end of our mission. We're going to draw an encounter card because we still have 1 spider left, activate up to 3 enemies, shuffle the encounter deck with the discard pile, and then discard this card. Quick shuffle. So before it does anything, it recovers from its KO condition, and then we go ahead and resolve its attack. It doesn't have anyone at range 0, so we're going to move to the range 1 to 2. And here, because it's slowed, it's only going to carry out its first sentence. Attack with web. Hey, I'm pretty sure Xian can handle that. The web attack is 3 blue dice with an extra hit, and so we get 2 hits in total, no other effects in play. Xian's got 1 armor, so 1 of those goes away, and we're left with 1 defense dice rolling for that last hit. Unfortunately, we roll no shields, but we do have a lightning bolt, which is going to work very nicely for our buckler, getting us that 2nd point of defense we need. No damage dealt. Enemy turn over, we move to our final hero's turn, and we can go ahead and do 2 things here. We can go ahead and try and attack and kill that last remaining spider, or we could kind of get the hell out of there. I'm a completionist, let's kill this sucker. Xian spends her action to focus. She moves in to the spider and makes her attack. 1 red dice, 3 blue, we roll. Oh god. Slightly poorly, but hey, I forgot we only need to do 1 more point of damage here. So with our focus and that 1 there, yep, we've got everything we need. We could go ahead and re-roll another dice, but how many of those are we rolling? Seriously, we don't need to. That is more than enough damage to take this sucker out. Killing it grants 5 coins, which we're going to drop on the ground and then immediately pick up with our free action. And with that, the hero turn is done. No enemies left on the map, so we go ahead and move into the event phase. We discard the top event card, and we are all but done. Back into the time phase, we've got a couple of things we need to do here. Mainly refreshing abilities and stuff. So Xantares' Thunder Strike fully refreshes, ready for use again. And Xian's Heal flips around to its 1 turn refresh to go kind of thing. That's it here though, and we move on into the battle phase. Xian activates, and with 3 points of movement, we join our party at the exit to the temple. The party gathers and begins their march through the darkness. Every tale begins with a prologue, a minor task accomplished before the simplest myth becomes heroic legend. But not this story. From its beginnings, this is an epic saga of immortal avengers, reborn by the will of the gods as sacred vestiges of an ancient power, now awake and relentless. Their actions become magnificent in the eyes of frail mortals, and in the end, their quest evolves into an ancestral, inspiring muse for every bard's song in this underground realm. Our rewards here are time tokens, and we gain 1 time token for each unrevealed event card left in the event deck. Luckily for us, we're not going home empty-handed here, and we'll keep that time close for when we need it. With our time at the God's Temple done, we move along, crossing the temple pathway. And that is where we're going to be leaving our very first mission. Definitely not a bad start there, if I do say so myself. We definitely got some nice gear and we're using our scraps pretty damn well. Hell, we even have enough souls to actually level up one of our heroes. Thought it'd be just a little bit overkill for our first attempt though. Next mission though, yeah, I'm sure we're gonna need it. So let's pack up, call it there, and I'll see you back in the studio. All right, first quest done and dusted. Fairly easy, fairly light on the enemies, but we get to see a lot of what the game has to offer as far as the basic combat mechanics go. And I really think that that is the purpose of this quest here. Just familiarization. Now the game will get more complicated as we go, and we come across different status effects, different monster behaviors and all that stuff. So don't worry about that. We'll also be seeing some more powers in use as our characters level up. Yes, we are ready to go, leveling up one of our characters now. Just got to figure out which one. So that is next video's job though. I'm done here for today. So we'll call it there. As always, guys and gals, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and do all the things that you guys can do to help this channel grow. But besides that, we are done. So as always, my name's Michael, this is Bits Aboard. We'll catch you next time.